Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Subgore Podcast. I'm your host, Tim.
And this is Brian, and I can't believe we're actually recording this. We had a lot of technical difficulties leading up to this, but it's funny. It's like it's the theme of my day because I have technical difficulties at my day job, and then I get home and my extender got knocked out. So then I restarted that, didn't work. Then I restarted the router,
I think
that
the
worked, but then it
I think
didn't work again. So
rats probably chewed the wires,
it
maybe.
did. You know what? I think it's in theme, and with that lead in, Tim gave us a hint. He gave you guys a hint what we're doing. We're doing the 1971 classic Willard.
Yeah, I thought we had talked about last week how there was no rhyme or reason to how we chose our shows. And so I was looking back and I was like, we've done a string of like current movies. So let's do a classic that we haven't
Yeah.
done on the show before. And I thought I had seen this. I thought I had seen this and Ben, but I remembered zero about either one of them. Maybe I never saw them. I don't know. It
Yeah.
feels like I saw them, but I just literally did not remember anything about them at all.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like, and you know what this is hats off to our good buddy David Weiner. And if you look, I'm wearing the shirt for it
Oh
because I
yeah.
think with the In Search of Darkness documentaries, even though they didn't go into the 70s yet, they are going to do it though. It
Yes.
is in the works,
Yes.
but which I don't know if we announced that, but it is. Um so keep an eye out for that. But I think they're just all those that and those other documentaries. I think Willard might be one that we've just. It could be one of the Shutter docs too, where you've just probably seen clips from it, and I think it's because I realized I never saw it either. I thought I had,
Yeah.
and I didn't see the sequel, Ben, although I knew it because of the like Tim and I were joking because of the Michael Jackson song,
Yeah.
and which was funny because I knew the song. I knew it was from a rat movie. I thought it was this one, but then I realized no, it's called Ben, the movie. So they're connected. That's the sequel. But I remember when I had when I was a kid, I got this one of those electronic organs, those big giant thick
Yeah.
ones.
Those big
Now they're much
keyboards. Yeah.
sleeker. Yeah, and I had that, and my mom got me along with it a songbook, and it had some cool songs in there, and that was always in there. It was Ben by Michael Jackson, and I was like, I never learned how to play it, but and it was like the old version too, where you could just do it by numbers. It wasn't even
Oh
like the
yeah.
real notes. It was like that real learning one.
Yeah.
So I
I had one of
probably
those.
tried to play it, but I never did. But yeah, that song is kind of famous from that. It's kind of weird to think Michael Jackson had a famous song from a like a 1970s rat themed horror movie, but
Yeah, I know.
it
Well,
is what it is.
there's a lot about this movie that's very strange that we'll have to get into. But first, we got
Yeah.
a little brief first chop.
Yes. For this time I got nothing, Tim. It's all
Yeah, this
you
time
on the first
Brian's got
chop.
nothing. So I watched. You know how I was saying like I'm not into horror right now. I'm not watching horror movies or anything. So I've got out of that phase. Like I'm back into watching horror movies again, but not like current horror movies. I'm watching just random stuff, and part of it is it's coming off the list from who we talked about, David Weiner, In Search of Darkness. They updated on Letterboxd. There is a person that did a master list of every movie that's been featured in all of the documentaries so far, the 80s
Oh,
and the 90s ones.
I
And
better get ready with the 70s coming.
yeah,
To do
well,
another one.
they just updated it with the 95 to 99 doc. So
Oh,
I
I still need
added
to
all,
watch.
yeah, I added all those to my list. So I've been going through. I mean, this is like 1,200 movies, guys, but I've watched about half of them. So it's not an insurmountable goal, but I've been going through and just picking ones off of that. So I watched two the other day. The first one I watched was called The Manster from 1959, and
Sounds like a weird. That sounds like a sandwich from the
yes,
70s,
it does like
doesn't
a
it?
like the
Like
manwich.
Denny's new the Manster.
This one you may know if you've ever seen like publicity shots of like a two-headed guy. Like it's a guy, but he's got like this obviously paper mache head on his shoulder.
That's what
And
that's from.
yeah, it's from the
I
Manster.
did see that a lot. I've always and
Yeah,
it was they joked about it in another movie, but that was called Manster.
that was the Manster. And you know what? This
Oh,
movie's
okay.
great. Like, search this one down. I can't remember where I saw. I think I saw it on Fawsome because Fawsome is awesome. Yeah,
One of your favorite
yeah,
free streaming services.
yeah. But I think I saw. But it's actually a really good movie. Like it's. I mean, granted, it's cheesy. It's from the 50s. But this guy who works as like a foreign correspondent, he ends up going to Tokyo and he runs into this mad scientist, Japanese mad
Mm.
scientist, who has has created this serum that he's trying to like I don't know like I guess I don't know the what science gobbledygook they tried to explain this with, but he's trying to do something to like evolve man or something.
Two-headed science.
Yeah, but so he decides he's going to secretly inject this American guy with this serum. So he does that. He like entraps him and injects him, and then this guy slowly, over the course of time, almost becomes like a Mr. Hyde. Like he turns like he starts
Mm.
cheating on his wife, and he like drinks all the time, and he's like uh, not taking care of his career, and he's like absent from work, and he's like deciding to stay in Tokyo the whole time and like party. So he becomes like this Mr. Hyde type character, but he's also starting to undergo physical changes, which culminate in him growing another head out of his
That's
neck.
crazy.
But I will say this one's a lot of fun, and the effects, even though they're like cheesy, like paper mache looking effects, there's something very
Mache.
creepy about them. I don't know. You know how sometimes when effects are so bad, they're almost like unintentionally creepy. That's what happens
Yeah.
in this one, and so I would highly recommend this one. It was very entertaining. Um,
Can I
on
ask you a
the
question?
Yeah,
If they, I don't know if they dealt with this in the movie, but like, I'm like just thinking like if I had a second head, I mean, God help everyone if it came with a second talking mouth, but if it was just a second head and my sinuses lately, would he have like double the headaches? Like, is that like,
I
do
don't
they
know.
share it or is it like a completely independent like
I think
head?
he's
Do they?
without giving spoilers, they're definitely independent.
Okay,
I'll just
interesting.
leave it at
Okay,
that.
so that might not be so bad.
No.
Yeah.
On the not so great level, I watched Not of This Earth from 1988. This is a remake of a Roger Corman.
I was gonna say, isn't that a
Yeah,
Roger Corman one? But I
it's a
guess this is
this
not
is a
the Roger
remake of a
Corman one,
Roger
obviously.
Corman
Yeah.
vehicle, and it's about this space vampire, if you will. It's this alien from outer space that needs human blood because his blood is like disintegrating or something, so he has to keep getting blood
Hmm.
transfusions to stay alive. But this film is notable because it was the first non-porn film that Tracy Lords did when she was getting out of
Oh,
the
I've
porn
seen this.
industry.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I've seen this. This was
yeah,
on. I remember the Tracy Lords one. I didn't know what it was, but now that you've just started to describe it, I remember her being some sci-fi like
yeah,
horror
yeah.
movie
So I
thing.
mean,
Okay.
it's very dull, and unfortunately, they I think they had the opportunity to lean into the campiness of it, being that it was based off an earlier property. I think they could have done that, and they just never really did that to the degree that I think would have made it actually entertaining. So,
Yeah, I
uh,
want to say it was on one of the cable channels a lot at one point. Like it would always just be on there, like in like probably like in the early like 90s. That was always on. Like maybe it was like Encore or something.
yeah, it was
Remember that
some.
channel Encore? That was like it was with
Yeah,
stars. You got the.
yeah,
I love those stations Encore. That was great. It was like an 80s like movie thing, and
yeah.
I remember I first got that, and it was like my one of my favorites. And then they started adding all the different Encore like with themes and everything. I think it played on that one a lot, if I
Yeah,
remember
it was.
correctly.
Unfortunately, it just wasn't. It wasn't great, but it did mark another one off of the In Search of Darkness list, so it was worth
Nice.
watching, I guess. But that's really all I had. I was, I've been trying to kind of slowly ease back into the horror movie watching waters. I'm not going crazy like I did for the 365 challenge and all that crap that we did way back in the day.
Yeah,
But
I just had so many. I just had a busy week with stuff, so it's like, I mean, and then this past weekend it was between family obligations and watching, I was watching WrestleMania. That was in to two. It was a 2 day thing. They made every like the old school like as they call them. I still call them pay-per-views, but they're not because it's the PLEs now, premium
oh,
live events. But yeah, so WrestleMania was on. So you know what? For some reason, like even though. It's like the product is definitely kind of in a rut right now. It's still fun to watch those big events. Like Royal Rumble's always my favorite, but like WrestleMania, the big four original ones are
yeah,
always fun. And WrestleMania is always still like just there's this nostalgia factor in it. Even though I think, they had some decent things in there. The guy Danhausen was in there. And by the way, I may or may not have ordered a Danhausen t-shirt that says "You are cursed" because It had WWE knew how to get me, and they sent me a thing. They said, "Hey, you want free shipping and $10 off any shirt?" And I'm like, "Danhausen." So yeah. So if you, I mean, I mentioned him. I think I mentioned
Yeah,
him in in the
yeah,
previous episode. You guys got to see what he does. This guy is brilliant. I tell you. But it's funny. You had all the thing. You had Paul Heyman yelling Brock Lesnar like he was gonna have an embolism out of his head. You got some good blood in the main event. The Roman Reigns CM Punk match was pretty epic. And actually, CM Punk's new horror movie is on Shudder right now, Night
oh,
Patrol. So I got
there
to
you go.
check that out. So yeah, it had some good things. It was there's a cool ladder match where stuff was going on. Ladder matches are fun. It was like a 6-person ladder match. So, but yeah, it was kind of cool. And so that one, so that and WrestleMania is like they're each like it's so funny because someone did a stat, and I'm like, why are these things like I remember used to get a 3-hour WrestleMania and there were like 15 matches, but now between the commercials,
Oh yeah.
the way more elaborate entrances than they used to have. And just all the like different things. Like someone did a thing that was actually 98 minutes of match time in a 4.5 hour time
Oh
slot.
yeah, I believe it. I believe
Yeah,
it.
because I
Yeah.
mean, and
Everything's
some of the
padded now.
things, yeah, oh, they pad it like crazy, and so it's like so I basically spent like 9 hours of WrestleMania over the 2 weekends, so kind of knocked into my viewing of other things, and but yeah, but I did get to watch our movie at hand, which will. Yeah, sorry. I'm like we're this is gonna be possibly our first video
Yeah.
recording that we're gonna show on YouTube. So I wore a hat because my hair was a little messy and I keep smacking it on the I think I'm not used to wearing a hat on this, so I keep smacking it on the microphone. So Tim might have to edit out a lot of dun, dun sounds. But yeah, let's get in anyway. Let's get into our because I have a feeling we're going to be doing a lot of funny things with this movie
Yeah.
review. I mean, I hope it's not too rodentramental to my health, but saving that one. We haven't
Yeah.
done a pun yet.
We
But you
haven't.
think the primate one was bad with puns? I think this rat
Yeah.
one may be way
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. So movie, of course, is Willard from 1971, directed by Daniel Mann, starring an impossibly young Bruce Davison
Yeah,
as Willard
right?
Styles. Like, because
He
I'm
doesn't
so
like fit in the world young. Like I know he
no.
was, obviously.
Yeah, but he had such a storied career once he got older that like I think most people know him, our age at least, know him from his older roles. So like
Yeah.
when the minute he came on, I was like, how was he ever that young? I don't understand.
I know. Like it's weird and it's such an iconic movie. I think you know why? I think because like we remember more so the I think it's a Crispin Glover remake one is in there.
Yeah,
So I think we kind of forgot that I think in my head I combined the two even though I didn't see
yeah,
them.
yeah,
Like it's weird. So it's like when I saw Bruce Davis, I'm like, oh my God, he looks so weird. He's young, he's got blonde hair, and it's like
yeah.
I'm picturing the version that we all know now, like with the gray hair and the like looks
Yeah,
like a politician or something. And but back then he was like this young kid, and he was like I think he was only like 21 or something or
yeah. He was in
25.
his 20s, and like
So,
it's like when you see your pictures of your parents when they were young, you're like,
yeah.
how were they ever young? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Uh,
like you
yeah,
picture your parents as just existing at the form you see them in at all times.
yes,
Like there's no
exactly.
gradual like progression in age and
Uh,
parents. Isn't that weird?
no,
But yeah, I mean, in this movie, oh, I mean, I know we cut Tim off, but we'll finish this because this cast is a classic cast in this.
it really is. Had Sandra Locke as Joan Sims, Elsa Lanchester as Henrietta Stiles.
We
The
all know
great,
what she was from, right?
yeah,
Elsa Lanchester. I mean, she's legendary. The Bride of Frankenstein. I mean,
yes,
you can't get more
you
like
can't get
iconic
more
than that.
legendary.
Yeah.
And then the great Ernest Borgnine as Martin, who he's fantastic in this, and Michael Dante as Brant. So
Yes.
the synopsis here is a social misfit uses his only friends, his pet rats, to exact revenge on his tormentors.
Yes. By the way, one of Ernest Borgnine's probably his most regrettable role in his head, but one of my favorite roles he did was Super Fuzz. Did you ever see that?
I don't think I've ever seen Super Fuzz.
Oh my God, you gotta track this movie down. I actually have it on Blu-ray under the other title called I think Super Snooper. This came out in the 80s. Is about this cop and it was like dubbed from Canada. This guy and like I think they dub it in or something. I don't know why they dubbed it because it was from Canada, and I don't think they were speaking French. They're speaking English in the movie, but like the audio is off, and it's about this cop that gets superpowers.
Oh, it's on
And
Prime. It's on Prime. I'm watching
oh
it.
my God, it is. You
Yes.
got to
Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah.
It's like it's definitely it used to be on like HBO all the time, and Ernest Borgnine plays like the gruff cop in it, and he's always screaming and angry in it, and it's like kind of like this a little bit, but more comedic. And I mean, it's just but super fun, and it has one of the best open like theme songs ever. Like that I found actually on iTunes. Someone released it on iTunes
Oh
of
man,
all things.
I
I
gotta track
can't
this down. Yeah.
I got it. But yeah, and it's like, and it's funny because the opening credits of the movie is the whole movie just blurred, like in like color schemes. It's hard to explain. I'm telling you, this movie is bizarre, but it's so fun and like and crazy that you have to see it because there's just sequences that like are like slapstick and then just like dramatic and action. It's just a wild movie. But anyway,
Yeah. I want to try.
that's
I'm
my
gonna watch this
favorite.
on Brian's recommendation.
Yeah, you
Definitely.
should.
Yeah.
And then I want to hear your like I almost want you to like give me a your reaction like in real time when you come across the insanity that is Super Fuzz. But
Yeah.
it's also one of my favorite movies of all time because it's so stupid. Um yeah, anyway, so but yeah, but this has got like I mean if you think about it, you managed to and I don't know I didn't I don't know who that lady is that scares me in this movie, but I've met my like Tim
Yes.
has an unusual fear of Shelley Winters. This woman
Yeah.
now is my fear. She kind of looks like an embodiment of Ursula from The Little Mermaid, like if she was a human person like
Yeah.
walking around.
She's.
She's not purple, but
Yeah. Yeah. She's kind of scary. But I mean, the cast is brilliant. This movie actually did really well at the box office, and I was reading about it was the 11th highest grossing film of 1971, which is pretty darn
really?
good. Yeah, and
Wow.
you know what? I don't think that it necessarily deserves that. Like, I don't think it was that great a movie,
I
but
mean,
it's
yeah, like
interesting. It was just supposed to hit at the right time or something.
yeah, it must have. I mean, well, Ernest Borgnine was a name. So, I
True.
mean, and
Yeah.
you know, and then I guess maybe classic horror fans um might have like got excited seeing Elsa Lanchester in there. Now, Sandra Locke, I feel like she got bigger like when she started doing all the Clint Eastwood movies.
Yeah.
Because that
Yeah.
was like when I think she was one of my early crushes, like Sandra Locke, you know, because she was in every one of his like movies in the 80s from like Bronco Billy, Every Which Way But Loose, The
Yeah.
Gauntlet, I think
Oh
Outlaw
my
Josie
gosh.
Wales. So she
Yeah.
was in like all the Clint Eastwood and actually Bruce Davidson and Sandra Locke were dating during this movie.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it was kept quiet because I guess she was still married. So she, not to say this like horribly, but I guess she gets around pretty quickly because I think she was already dating Clint Eastwood like 2 years after
Oh
this movie
God.
or 3 years after. So I don't know. Maybe she got freaked out by
By
the
the
whole
rat.
rat thing.
Yeah.
But she's really good in it. She's like so like one of the most kindest people like ever portrayed in a film.
Yeah. What's funny about this movie is uh well, first of all, let me back up and say that supposedly this film set off the animal horror boom of the 70s. I don't know if it's
Let's
like
see.
I don't know if it's like individually responsible, but it was part of the launch of all the 70s horror uh movie. I know there was two that I saw mentioned on IMDb trivia that were like directly influenced by it, but you know, that kind of stuff snowballs. And so throughout the 70s you had all these great animal horror flicks. But this one was kind of funny because the rats are not scary at all in this. Like they used like I think they used the most cleanest, fluffiest pet store rats they could
Well,
find
definitely
for this.
Socrates, his
Yes,
favorite one, the little
yeah,
white one was cute. That
but
was
they
the
were
only
all
one I could.
like yeah, they were all like cute. Like none of them. They didn't try to make which they changed in Willard, the remake Willard. They did change the rat to look more like bigger. I think they used a different breed of rat. I found out. I haven't finished
Really?
watching the movie yet, but I was just reading some of the trivia about it. But they tried to make Ben like stand out as a this huge different kind of rat. Whereas in this movie, Ben just looks like every other brown rat that's
Yeah,
in the
I
movie.
was wondering how does he tell the difference? Like it's like
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh Ben, how are you?" And I'm like, "He just looks like the other 15 rats sitting over
yeah,
there. How do you know?" They describe him as like I was looking in the Wikipedia and I was looking at the trivia and they said he's like a dark like more like black fur and I'm like, "I don't think so. I think he looked like the typical it was dark brown fur to me, and same with the other ones. The only one that stood out different was Socrates, the
Socrates
one
because
he
he was
liked, the little
albino.
white
Yeah,
one that he liked,
yeah.
which was the only rat I've ever felt bad for in a movie. Well, I guess what was it? Was there any rats in American Tail or they were all mouse,
Those are all
mice?
mice. I think those are all
Okay,
mice.
then yeah, no, then he might be the only rat I felt bad for because
What about the Secret of
I
Nim though? The Secret of Nim
Oh, that's
are
right. Okay, all
rats.
right, but those are
Yeah,
animated rats too. Yeah, I guess the animation is off the take. You always feel bad for things in animation that something bad
yeah.
happens. But but yeah, no. So I, growing up in New York, I am not a fan of rats. Rats freak me out. I've
I
encountered too
was about
many
to
of them.
ask you because you're a New Yorker. I mean, have much more experience, direct experience with rats than I do.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. This is where my fear of rats came from. Like, to be honestly, if I would have saw this before this event, never would have bothered me. But I still remember my dad was walking in the street with me in New York City. When my parents got divorced, he moved to New York City, and so I'd go visit him on the weekends. He'd come take me on the train, go back and forth. That's where my love of trains actually came from, which is funny. But so anyway, so we were walking on the street, and he goes, "Oh my God, come here!" And he pulls me across, and we like kind of jet across the street to the other side. And I'm like, what? What happened? You know, I was little. I maybe it was like 6 or 7. He's like, look. He goes, there's a rat over there. And I saw this little rat from far across the street. So it was big enough that I could see that it was a rat. And it was like right sitting there, like,
For those that
like
are listening on audio, Brian is now
yeah,
reenacting a rat
I was doing a rat
claws.
face, which
Yes,
is
with
not really
claws and
that
everything.
great,
Yeah.
but yeah, and so that was sitting there. But so ever since then, I was always afraid of rats in the city. I mean, you don't encounter them as much as you think you do. I mean, like, I mean, you know, if you watch the hype, you think there's a rat like hanging out at every street corner, like,
Yeah, there's like a
hey,
stereotype.
trying
Yeah.
to go to Seventh Avenue? Yeah, no, it's not like that bad. But one of the freakiest times I ever encountered a rat was this was crazy, and I like. Honestly, I'm surprised I didn't have a panic attack there. It was late one night. We were coming back from the bars. I think it was with Seth. I wonder if Seth remembers this story. And we're sitting there on the platform in the subway, and I'm sitting there, and we see all these rats like crawling along the like the other side of the track. Like, I don't know if you remember, Tim, when we went,
Yeah.
you remember going on a subway, how there's like sometimes you'll see multiple tracks from one station. So
Yeah.
we saw it like it was going the other way, and we saw these rats, and they were going around. They go, something triggered it, and they like about 20 rats came like towards our platform,
Ooh, no,
and
no, no, no.
and I'm sitting there like, oh my God, oh my God. I In my head, they were about to all come crawling up the wall to the platform and come after us. But like, remember Cloverfield when they're like
Yeah.
running all that? Like that's what it looked like. But all they did was go under because they stayed under the thing because I guess there was food underneath. You know, some people drop stuff and it's
Yeah.
so they stayed under, thank God. But that's what like all I'm like, oh my God, please let this train come soon because I can't deal with it.
I don't
But
think I
then
ever
like
saw a rat when we went to New York City. I don't
no,
remember seeing one.
I had them not show up when you were there. So I wanted you to like New York. So yeah, I made sure all the pizza places stayed open past midnight.
Yeah,
I did a
that's
little
true.
work before you guys came and visited. But yeah, no, and then and technically it's the kind of funny thing is not related to my fear of rats, but Obi is technically a schnauzer. He's a ratting dog. So he was like he basically bred to go after those kind of things. And every once in a while we'll get like around our neighborhood we'll get a rat, and there's one time like Obi was like sitting there or go outside and he's like
like,
frozen, and I'm like,
like,
Obi, what's the matter?
like he was
And I'm like,
so
what
ready.
is he looking at? And I see in the like our high grass like this rat like going really slow because I think it was like on its last legs,
Yeah,
and it was kind of like prancing, and I'm like, Obi, please don't bite that thing because if you walk in the house with this rat, you're gonna die. You're gonna have a heart attack. But he
yeah,
just kind of stared at it, and but like at my when we were staying temporarily at my in-laws, they have this old deck, and someone was doing construction, so there's a rat problem there. And like Obi and the other dogs would like just like they would probably be under the deck, and like so Obi and all the other dogs were like, and then they run on the other side, and like and so these rats are probably trapped under the deck, and then so I'm like, I've seen too many just like rat things, but like so I can't imagine honestly like ever befriending a rat like they do in this movie.
yeah. Like
But
it's funny because rats are not something that bother me when I see them on film. Like this, they didn't. It wasn't scary to me or anything. But if I saw one in my house in real life, I would be like, let's just burn the house down and move. I'm ready to
what
move.
what about Food of the Gods? That movie with the giant
That
rats,
didn't
remember
bother
that?
me either. Now, I mean,
Really?
I don't mind them on film, and it's not like, like spiders don't bother me on film or in real life. Like I don't care about spiders. That
Oh,
doesn't
no,
doesn't
you
bother
were.
me. But
I
it's like,
am do not like insects at all,
but
really.
for some reason,
Okay.
like the rat thing, like if it was in real life, if I saw now we own Anna owns a mouse. we have a mouse in our house that
See,
is a
mice
pet
aren't
mouse,
that bad. The
and he's
mice are
kind of cute.
okay.
Yeah, he's kind of cute
I don't
actually.
mind the mice. It's the rats
But
because like you said earlier, you grow up in New York City, you get this like sewer rat stuff in your head, and
yeah,
and it's like you can't like
well, and they've
avoid
all
it, and that's
historically they've carried disease, so people have been like trained
yes,
to
they
fear
they
them.
are vermin. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, so it's
so I mean I can understand it, but like it doesn't they don't really creep me out on film, but that's one thing that I do not like in real life. The only close encounter I had is at our old house. We came outside one day and there was a like one like you were describing that was like on its last legs, like crawling through our yard.
uh,
It'd probably gotten poisoned or something, and that
yeah,
like
that's the
it
thing.
flipped me out. I was like, I had to have Olivia go get the thing and like
Did you move?
no, but
Is that when
what
you
I mean,
moved?
it wasn't in our house. It was in our
Uh,
yard. But like, she
yeah,
had to like scoop it in a bucket, and like she took it into the woods and like threw it out. And I was like, oh my god, it freaked me
it's
out for a day. Like I
thank
couldn't
God
handle
our
it.
wives are like so like just patient with our weird
Yes.
things like that. No, well, Julie told me a story just to show you how cool she is with thing. There was, I guess she was telling me an old story where she was in some apartment where there was, I guess she found later on that a rat was living in her drawer, like one
Oh
of her
god,
dresser
no,
drawers.
no, no,
And
no,
but
no,
it was something
no.
that she'd never like was a drawer that had like winter clothes that she would never really
Right?
access.
Yeah.
And she said the reason she knew it was in there, the way she tells it, I probably should have her come on and guest and tell the story, but I'll try it anyway. But she told me I guess she was getting up early to go somewhere. It was like 4 a.m. And so she put her alarm really loud, and when it went off, she heard in the drawer. The alarm
No,
like woke. I know, that's what I said. I
no.
said I would have moved that then and there. I don't care what I had scheduled
I know.
that day.
No,
I'd be like,
perfect.
sorry, I'm canceling it. I need to move. But yeah, but she's a lot braver than me.
Yeah,
So
I just can't deal with that creepy
that would have
crawly
been the
stuff.
end to me. I would have like if it was a house, I would have like literally I might have like those things where you see like when you see oh someone's a spider and then they show a blowtorch like that would
Yeah,
have been
that
me.
would have been that was totally.
I
Yeah,
would have
so
taken a virtual blowtorch to that
yeah,
place.
but
But anyway, we should get to the movie
we
now
should
that
get to the
we've told
movie.
about my
So
rat phobia here. But
Bruce Davison, of course, he plays Willard. Poor guy. He's introverted. He's awkward. He lives with his sick mother and her cavalcade of friends, I guess, because they all threw him a party.
why are they
But
so like intrusive? We have to talk about that opening dinner scene. And
I've
then
got two thoughts on it though. I've got two thoughts
and
on
then
it.
later on when
Yeah,
like later on when they come visit and bring food to him,
yeah.
that's those two scenes alone we got to discuss. But
But he's poor guy. He works at this office where Ernest Borgnine is his like overbearing and frankly a creep of a boss because he's
yeah,
always
he's
chasing the
not a
secretary.
likable Borgnine.
Yeah, no, no, not at all. And so he's kind of overworked. Granted, he seems like to be a bit of a I don't know. I mean, I don't put the blame squarely on Ernest Borgnine. Like this guy is a little weird in terms of his work
No, he's and not
ethic.
make a pun, but he's
Yeah.
a little mousy just in
Yes.
general, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
But what can you know what he works for? Is it a bank? Is it a thing? I
I
don't
couldn't
understand. Like
tell.
he's
I think it
I
was some
can't
kind of
tell. I know
ship.
there's receipts
Well, I think it was some
and
kind of shipping because at some point he says
oh
it
right,
got held up
yeah.
in customs. So I'm guessing it's
Right.
some kind of distribution type thing. But then,
But then why does that one guy come to him to get like money out for the bank? Like
well,
I
then
don't understand what
also
kind of
Ernest Borgnine says he could put like 40 apartments where the house is. So he's like, is he a real estate guy? Because then why is he bringing stuff in from customs?
is he like a yeah, like does he have one of these like all-in-one businesses? Because
I
that's
don't
right,
know.
because there's that thing. Then there's a scene when his friend comes by and says, I need you to go to the bank and take
Yeah,
out $8,000 for
$8,000.
me. And I'm like, and then,
There's no
and
telling
I'm
what
like,
he
what is he
does.
doing?
Yeah, I don't
And then
know.
they call him a cashier. Like his mother says, you don't always want to be a cashier all your life. And then, but like, he's
It's
not
so
a
weird.
cashier. I don't know what he's
And
doing.
we don't know what he
Yeah.
is. Maybe that's why he's having such a problem at his job. He don't know what the heck he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and
I
that's
don't
why
know.
he's a mess and he's so behind. They have to hire Sandra Locke as a
But
temp.
but anyway, so yeah, poor guy. He's a terrible
Hmm.
job. His mom's sick. He has no friends. I mean, he's got Sandra Locke. I mean, she's definitely sweet on him. And but
Yeah, like right. Yeah, I mean, his life should have changed right then and
right
there.
then, yeah,
He
she
should have went like, okay, this pretty blonde person that came over to me and is helping
yeah
me clear my desk and is really kind to me and buying me a cat.
yeah.
I that should have solved them right
But
there. Done. Movie over.
I've
But
got
yeah,
thoughts on the cat gift too. But anyway,
okay. I know.
but
I thought that it was going to go way differently.
yeah. But yeah, so it's so he ends up he's tasked with killing these rats that are found in the house, and then he like feels sorry for him, so he ends up saving them, and then he kind of befriends them, and he names the white one Socrates, and the
Seemed like a
big
little water park at first,
yeah,
like
it
a
was very
little.
cute.
It was
And then
friendly.
and Ben and he I guess it's kind of implied, although it's never officially stated, that he almost has some kind of supernatural connection with these rats, like he can tell them what to
Yeah.
do. And did you notice that
It
it's
develops
also
very fast because first it's just him going, and they do things, and then he
food.
snaps his
Yeah,
finger and they go one way,
yeah,
and then he could tell them and they understand English all of a
yes.
sudden too.
They could
So yeah,
apparently
there
read
must be some
news.
kind of.
They could barely read newspapers too. Did you notice that? There's a scene. So, and I noticed this because I watched Ben afterwards, because I think they referenced it in Ben, if I'm not conflating the two movies. But there's a scene where Ben is on the newspaper, and the newspaper headline is something like "human sized rats" or something. I can't remember what it was,
Was that
but
in this one? It
I,
was in Willard, or maybe it was Ben, because I don't remember that. But
there was, I don't know. I remember a scene where he was on a newspaper. Well, in Ben, there's a scene where the rats had done something to this grocery store, and it was a headline in the newspaper. And Ben's sitting on top of the newspaper, and the kid is like, "See, Ben, you did that." Like,
Mhm.
I guess implying that Ben reads the newspaper. I don't know, but it
That's
felt
weird.
like that. Yeah,
I mean, the
I'd have to
rats
go
got to
back
get
and
their news from somewhere, right? I mean,
I
I don't
guess.
think there's like any rat CNN out there. They got to learn somehow.
And
But
this
yeah,
was
it's
like,
weird,
yeah,
like the way the rat, like they don't. That's the one thing with this movie. It's like, do they go in enough to how he develops that connection with them? I'm
I don't
trying
think
to
it's
think
explained. I think a lot of it.
because I
Well, the,
watched it twice to prepare for this,
yeah,
and I was like, did I miss a sequence? Like, it seems like he goes from like making that sound to then snapping fingers and then to completely understanding a verbal command to go do
well,
that.
this is based on a novel, so maybe the novel goes into it more. But
Yeah, I do. I wanted to pick that up when I did see that it was based off a book. I'm like, I kind of want to read the book for that because that's. I
yeah,
mean,
because it's never
it's
really
a
explained.
it's a great story though because it is like if you think about it, right? Rats are usually or mostly considered like, oh, I don't want to be a rat, and that's the way Willard felt. So there is that good, that it makes sense the connection they would have.
Yeah.
Just not all the like you said, like maybe there is an implied supernatural element to it. I mean, his mother was the Bride of Frankenstein, so you never know, right?
Well, so of course, Willard's mom dies. This is early in the film, so I'm not like spoiling a whole
Yeah,
lot. But his mom dies, and this kind of sets off. This basically like cements his like relationship with the
yeah,
rats over people, and kind of everything goes downhill from there because his mom, we find out, did not leave him any money. She left
yeah.
him the house. He does have the house, but he owes
She
so
left him
many.
dead.
Yeah, she left him dead because the house has so much
Yeah,
taxes he can't even afford to
yeah.
stay in the house, and so he's like he's up a creek. Like he has no financial means. He's got this terrible job.
He's up the creek without a rattle. But
Yes,
sorry, that was terrible.
that was pretty bad.
I'll see myself out.
But yeah, so he's kind of in a bind, and he ends up being able to use his rat powers to
Rat
somehow get
powers.
ahead. But you know what? I was surprised because I was fully expecting this to be like other animal horror movies with a lot of body count, a lot of
Yeah,
rats. It's not. It's very like the body count is extremely low.
yeah.
There's not a whole lot of horror in this at all up until the last 20 minutes or so. I would almost describe this less as a horror movie and more as maybe kind of like a thriller, like almost like Hitchcock's The Birds in a way. It's like it's very
Yeah.
not, but even The Birds had more like direct horror.
Yeah,
So
well, you know what? I think it's a horror for someone who's if you're introverted, this is a horror movie for you because this would scare the hell out of you because he never gets like a moments of peace because people are always on top of him. And don't there was a line like, "Oh, he's an extrovert except he just doesn't like people." I'm like basically describing what an
yeah,
introvert was, his
yeah,
mom. Like so I mean there's actually some comedy in this, that they
it's
like
it is a dark
there
comedy in a
had to
way.
be
Yeah,
a comedic point to that
yeah.
like with the way things go in that,
I
you
think,
know.
and I think that's one thing I thought this movie did really well is I don't think it takes itself too seriously.
Yeah.
And I think Ernest Borgnine helps that because he's such a character anyway. Like
Yeah.
I think he helped kind of add that little bit of humor. It's not explicitly played for laughs, but the tone is there. That there's almost like a wink at the audience, like don't take this too seriously, like it's just for fun kind of thing, which I thought was really
Yeah.
cool about it. But the good back to the mom's friends who were like always over there, and the aunt that was always there.
Was that his aunt? I
Yeah,
didn't
it
even
was
really
his.
pick that. I just
Yeah, it
thought it
was.
was like
No, it
like
was
the
his.
mother's
It was
friend.
his aunt. But one thing that I was thinking about was, you know, despite him being like this introverted guy, and he really had like this strong support system of his
Yeah,
mom's friends. I mean, they all adored him. It's not like
yeah,
they were mean to him. They loved him. They wanted to support him. The aunt even wanted to take care of him after the mom
yeah,
passed. And he's the one that kind of rejected all of them. Now, granted, they overbearing and were they kind of like loud and brash and everything? Yes,
mm,
but it's not like he had nothing. I mean, he did have a
yeah.
support system of family there if he had chosen to accept it, which he did not. So that was kind of on
Right.
him, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, granted though, it's like, it could be a psychological thing where he did lose his father at a young age, and so he had no male role model except and like real the except like possibly Ernest Borgnine, who like basically swing you
Yeah,
find out he's not only is he just a cretin and a bad guy to Willard, but he basically stole the business right from under his dad
yeah,
and
yeah.
basically give like forces Willard to work there at like on weekends and doesn't give him a raise and just I mean I assume right I assume it was a young age his father passed away because they did well no maybe not because he said actually I take that back maybe it wasn't he did have his dad for a while but because he did say he goes you haven't given me a raise since my dad died
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he obviously wasn't working at like 6 years old there I mean but um so, but maybe his father, we don't know how maybe the father was like him and he was like kind of, you know, mousy and kind of like,
It's
I don't
kind of
want to.
yeah, it's kind of sad because I was like, you're
We need a
supposed.
prequel.
Yeah, you're right. You feel some sympathy for Willard, but also at the same time, which I also think is kind of cool that this movie does. Also at the same time, he's sort of a tragic figure in that you both feel sympathy for him, but he also brings his fate upon himself in many ways.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a interesting. It's a very complex character. It's not what you would expect from a rat horror movie. That this would be such an in depth character study. Like,
Yeah.
so I thought it was. I thought that was like the charm, I guess you would say, of the movie. I thought there was different layers that were kind of neat that were aside from the whole rat horror thing. Like it was
Yeah.
just like, what is Willard like? What is how is this character motivated? That kind of stuff. I thought that was the most interesting part of the movie versus the
Yeah.
rats.
It kind of makes sense because like whatever like is going on in his head. I mean, he was obviously so damaged to a point of to where he just doesn't feel he can get any kind of like compassion or respect from a human. To the
Yes,
point where
yeah.
he misses it, like when it's right in front of his face with Sandra Locke, who's like, "Hey, this nice guy."
She's bending over
She
backwards.
sees,
Yeah,
yeah, she sees the good in him, and like, but he doesn't see it in himself, so he can't do that. And he even says it later on when he says a line, something like, "Between you and my friend Socrates," which he does not say is a rat, but he says, I got confidence now. I can do this now. I'm like, I'm okay. And by that point, obviously, he's set his fate in motion, to where he's already on the downfall. He just doesn't know it yet.
speaking of that, do you think that could be an allegory for like could the rat if you take the rats and replace them with alcohol or replace them with drugs and you could see how a person who was withdrawn and didn't have that support system finally finds that one thing that they think is helping them, and maybe that thing is actually ultimately what's going to destroy them. And he kind of turned
Yeah,
away from the people that really wanted to help him because he said, "No, I've got this over here." Just like somebody might say, "No, I've got my partying and I got my alcohol and I got my
yeah. You know
drugs."
what? That's actually a great point because how many times do you see a movie where someone is an alcoholic and they go and they destroy a party scene? They go in there and they're invited because they want them to be there and then they make a fool of themselves and do that. And he kind of did that with the rats in that party scene where he sent the rats in, destroyed
Yeah.
Ernest Borgnine's pate table. Boy, that food looked good too. I was kind of
It
like
did.
annoyed with Willard at that point. I'm like, there was such good food there. Look at
Yeah.
that. But yeah, and so he did that. He destroyed his that, and you're right. And to the point of where, because at the same time when he says I could do it now is when he's kind of like starting to kind of separate wants to separate from the rats. He sent them off to I mean, all right, you know what? This movie is from the 71. Sorry, we're gonna spoil it. But after he had him go after Ernest Borgnine, they um then that's when he had this revelation. I'm okay. I'm gonna go do that. And then he puts the rats away, locks them in a cage, locks it off. He's like, that's like almost you made a very astute point, Tim. Like now that the more I think of it, is how
Yeah,
many times you've seen that where they lock or they pour out their liquor,
and pouring
and
the
they did,
liquor
and that's
out. Yeah,
exactly what he did. He did everything he could
I
because he's
finally
done
beat
with the
my
rats,
addiction. I finally
but
beat
he
it,
doesn't.
but he didn't.
But he
So,
actually doesn't because you don't beat it that easily, and it's always the threat unless you're ready for it. And he was fortunately, it overtook him because Ben was there. It was funny. I was in the Wikipedia because I was trying to go through the facts. It said when he's at dinner with um Joan is it Joanne or Joan? I forgot how they call what her
yeah.
character was. Sandra Locke's in it, and they said, and Ben is staring menacingly at him from the cat, and like they actually show a close with a rat, and it does look as menacing as a rat could look with an expression, and he's doing that.
Yeah, it's.
So
I think
yeah, I
I think
mean that's
that's
a great
valid.
point, Tim.
Yeah,
Actually,
I think it's valid. It's just a very tragic tale, and a lot of those
yeah.
tales of addiction and stuff. Not that he was quote unquote addicted to the rats, but I think they're a perfect stand-in for uh, any kind of thing that basically isolates you from your social networks that you think is maybe helping you and is not, and ultimately it catches up to him, which is very
Yeah.
sad. But anyway,
Yeah, it's funny. Like the other thing we got to talk about is when after his mom passed away, and I swear to God, this is exactly what a shiva looks like with all the deli meat on the table, and
yeah,
they come barging in to his house. Like the poor guy's trying to just deal with his mom gone, and they come barging in with like bags of groceries. They're like, "Hey, we got food," and I'm thinking they're like bringing him casseroles or stuff for him to live on, but no, they just make this spread and they just start eating everything and like no care to him at all.
like I felt
Except
like
the aunt gives him a sandwich, I guess. But like by that point, Ernest Borgnine's got a whole mouthful of like food. He's like,
yeah,
ah!
I felt like that was making fun of humans acting like rats, like because they came in and they just
Oh,
like
you're
devoured all the
right. They
food.
just,
They
boy,
were just
Tim, you like you got like the next level. Like I'm still trying to make rat puns and rat jokes and trying to think, and you're getting like really deep and like,
well, I just like that's what struck me. I was like, oh, they're like acting like the rats, because remember he was talking about how like they're eating all his food and everything.
oh, you're
Like
right.
the rats are
Yeah,
eating him out. He can't even afford to
yeah,
feed them all, and now he's seeing the same behavior in these people, which I thought was kind of interesting because he loves the rats, but he hates the people.
yeah.
But he ends up
He just
hating the rats eventually too. So it's kind
yes.
of
Well, I think because there's that whole thing, like, when you ever you achieve something and it's like it's in that early stage, but you're still kind of like, well, why did I do this all along? There's still that like frustration with yourself a little bit.
yeah,
Going back to, your allegory comment, and so it's like, there is that whole thing where it's like he's still like he's excited, but he's like there's still that like little regret, like why couldn't I do this sooner? It wasn't that hard. I could have just figured it out. So he's still like, that's why he wasn't, when I say like, well, he thought he was fine, but he really was never fine yet. It would, you don't fix yourself by like one like rat attack and you're
yeah,
like, next thing you know.
you're good to go. Yeah,
Yeah, and that scene was great though with Ernest Borgnine when he sends a whole bunch of rats at him, which I like to call the Retalion. Of, you know,
yeah.
um, But yeah, that part is cool. And it's like there's even one part, I think this must have been like I have a feeling this was like a kind of like an outtake or a blooper that they kept in. Do you notice there was one part when he was trying to put all the rats down when he's in the basement? One's like caught on his hand and he kind of goes like this to try and get and it
No,
won't come and he almost like has like this look of like, oh, like a smirk, like I can't
yeah,
get the they just left it in because it was natural, but it was kind of good. But yeah, I mean that sequence, and then he does the funniest. Actually, one of the scenes too, I love when he goes to that guy's house to steal his money, and he sends the rats, and the guy's like, ah! And he's
yeah.
screaming and he's running around like jumping up, and they're all like so scared of rats. I mean, like what? I mean, the rats are everywhere. I mean, there is that sequence in the basement where they just overrun his house. I mean, they show you a couple of times with the rats having babies, and like that is just. I'm like, okay, I would die. I could not. I don't care how much I like these rats. But like, there's like too many of them now.
Oh, and
It's
it's
like
a
there's like
thousand times worse
hundreds.
than Ben. Ben
But
is
is
like
it?
Like, are we gonna talk? Are we gonna review Ben on the show? Or are we just gonna
We
just talk about?
should. I mean, we could. We, we almost should have saved this for a slaycation. We could have
I
had the rat
know, I
slaycation. Yeah.
know. But anyway, yeah, Ben like ups the rat level big time.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah,
How many more could they add? My God. That one sequence where it's like the floor looks like it's moving. It's like that sequence in Raiders of the Lost Ark when he goes, "Why is
yeah.
the floor moving?" You know, Sala, and it's like
Which
all
is
snakes.
really impressive because that was all practical. They didn't have CGI back then to
Yeah.
just make clone rats, so they had
Where
to
did
use
yeah,
real
like where did
rats.
they like honestly like back then in the 70s, did they have like rat trainers? Like is that
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure they did. I mean, they had.
like how do you like I wonder how you train like and if you could train them that well, why couldn't you figure out how to train the ones in the city to get the hell out of there and
No, you just all
stop?
you have, Brian. All you have to do is go
Oh, that's right.
food, and then they obey
Oh,
your
oh
every
yeah, food. Oh,
command.
that's right. He
Yeah,
did. Yeah, they did understand
yeah,
food,
yes.
but
That's all you have to do.
everyone
Apparently, it's that
understands
easy.
food. You know?
But
Yeah.
anyway, so you know what? Talking about this movie actually made me love it more
Oh, I
than
loved
when
it.
I
Yeah.
originally watched it. I mean, I thought it was when I first finished watching it. I was like, you know what? That was entertaining. It was good. It's not like a great movie, but it was okay. But the more I've talked about it and I've thought about Willard's character, like the more I kind of love it. So I feel like I've actually talked myself into loving this movie more than I thought I would. So
Well,
yeah,
it's so
I
funny
do.
that you said that. I do how much I loved it. So I'm looking right now to see where I can get a Blu-ray on it so it could go in the monolith because
Yeah,
Willard still
yeah.
belongs up there.
It's
Not his rats, just him.
it's kind
You
of a
know.
I guess it's kind of a classic for a reason, and maybe I don't know that it totally explains the box office success. That one still puzzles me a little bit, but I'm not gonna trash it for I
Nice.
can see where people saw something in this that I didn't see when I first watched it, but the more I've talked about
Yeah,
it, the more I've kind of
1097 on Amazon, by the way.
there
There you
you
go.
go. So it's cheap.
Blu-ray and
Rat,
it's a Blu-ray and DVD combo pack.
yes,
So there you go. I'm
not a
gonna
lot
have
of
to order
cheddar
that.
to buy that Blu-ray.
Yeah, you need to try. It's gonna go right on the monolith there, and it'll
Uh,
well somewhere with it's W, so it's down over there. You can't
yeah.
see it on the screen because this
So
is just and this is like the monolith with like one last shelf. So I need to like I'm gonna put another shelf up there. I don't know if you can see that top row, but
yeah.
there's room for another one. But they don't make this monolith anymore, so we're gonna get like a different monolith. But at least
Oh,
it'll be on the top, so it'll work okay. Like
yeah. Well, looks
won't look as
still
bad as
rad.
if it was like in the middle.
Yeah.
So.
So what beer pairing
But
do we have for this week? Some kind of rat beer, I
So
would assume.
this is actually a brewery Julie and I have been dying to go to because we've had a lot from there. It's local. It's actually in Oakland, California. So this is one of the breweries on our list because we're planning to do an Oakland day. When it probably more in the summer when it's nicer out because there's a lot of cool outdoor areas in Oakland you can go visit. So we're gonna hit this. I think there's two locations, but this is the Ghost Town Brewing in Oakland, California, and it's Rat Majesty is the name of the
There you
beer.
go.
6.6. Really, there's not much on it other than it's a hazy IPA with Mosaic and Idaho. But
That's
I
all
do
right.
love my hazy IPAs.
And our
So,
mosaic, so we're good. Yeah.
yeah. So that I think we're yeah. So I think I'm gonna track that beer down because it's like currently like there. It's not like one that's they don't make anymore. I looked the other day. It's at the tap room. So
Nice. So our final segment here, our fan topic food question is: what is an animal or animals that freak you out?
obviously we've discussed the rat one, so I'm
Yes.
not going to say that one
Yeah.
again. So
Well, I mean, for me, it might surprise you. There are two types of animals that everybody laughs when they find out that I'm freaked out about these. One is grasshoppers,
hmm.
and the other is frogs. I don't like
Oh, and you just
grasshoppers.
had a frog incident, which I
Yes.
don't know if you want to share that one online on the air, but
Yeah. I will share. I don't know. I guess I'll have to share it now. We've leaked it. We gotta share it because it is like horrible. It's horrifying.
yeah,
So like the
it's
grasshopper,
totally horrifying.
totally, yeah. I know you guys are riveted to in your
Yeah.
seats to hear that one. Um, the grasshopper thing came from a childhood trauma where I was playing outside and this grasshopper literally jumped down my shirt
Oh
and it
yeah, see
scared me half to
that would
death.
do it.
It would freak me out, and ever since then, like I don't like grasshoppers. I can't stand grasshoppers. Anything that jumps, um, anything.
Oh, you would have died with those cave crickets that we had
Oh
then. Oh
God,
my
no, no,
God.
yeah, none of that. I can't do anything. Any kind of animal that could potentially jump at me or fly at me, I don't like. The frog thing, I don't know where it came from, but they've always kind of freaked me out. I don't like them. I think it's the jumping aspect again. Um, But the frog incident that Brian was referring to, this like it still like creeps me out. So the other day, this
I mean, it's
happened.
comical because of the way you told it, but it's
Yeah,
probably not
but
comical at
it's
all.
the other day, and because I'm an animal lover, even frogs. But I mean, in terms of like not wanting them injured, I should say, but I don't want them anywhere near me. But my wife called me crying and freaking out because she had gone and gotten some fresh basil out of the garden because she grows herbs, and she had taken it in the house and she had gardening gloves on. So she had taken it in the house and she was chopping it up with like the scissors, and she was like chopping up the
Herb
basil. You just chop
scissors,
it,
yeah.
yeah, like the herb scissors. And she felt like the scissors go into something that did not feel like basil. And she opened up the scissors, and there was a tree frog, and she had cut its leg off.
Why did it stay so
I
silent?
don't
That, like
know.
in like quiet. I guess it was terrified.
Yeah, and so she was freaking out. As she, if I had done that,
Yeah,
I would still be in the hospital to this day. We would not even be
yeah.
recording. I would still be in a mental asylum. But she's much stronger than I am. So
Oh, I would have.
unfortunately,
Yeah, I would have been. I would have probably never eaten basil again either.
no. So she
So,
but she ended up like freaking out. Of course, she threw everything away. She took the frog and put it in the in the like the yard and just hope for the best. Like hopefully he's still around there with like a little prosthetic leg, like some
I know,
kind of
like the Robin in the Muppet Christmas Carol. Remember he had the little cane, like as Tiny Tim.
like
Maybe he'll go Tiny Tim in the local frog production of A
yeah,
Christmas Carol. I
I'm
don't.
hoping like a frog doctor stumbled across him and went, "Oh my God, we got to
I
help you." And he's got a little frog crutch. Maybe I don't know.
I know. Yeah, you never know. I know this is gonna sound really stupid, but I know there are certain like animals. Don't think they like regenerate the limbs,
Well, I
but
did
frogs
look
are
it
not
up.
one of them, right?
No, I did look it up because I was hoping that might be the case. But unlike like
Yeah.
salamanders that do
Oh, that's
regrow limbs,
okay.
but frogs
I
do
know
not.
some kind of
So
thing like that.
somewhere out
Okay.
there, there's a three-legged tree frog that my wife brutally butchered. But
What if
hopefully
it's
he's still
like
alive.
what if it's like that frog what turns into like that frogman, like and like you see this one-legged frog coming after you, like knocking on your door, Tim, or something.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
It
the
was
good
a
thing is
bad
you're in
story.
enough shape. You could probably outrun a one-legged frog,
Maybe I
so
would.
you'd probably be okay.
Well, if any kind of frog is chasing me, the adrenaline's going to be so high I could probably outrun any kind of frog because I do not like frogs at all. People laugh like Olivia will pick them up in her hand, like, "Oh, look at the frog!" I'm like, "No, get it away!" Like I will literally
Yeah.
run away. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the frog thing is, man. I just don't like them. They
Yeah, for me it's like I mean, I technically it's more insects than per se animals, but like one insect that like I mean, I don't like spiders, I don't like those kind of things at all, but like one of the ones that I think freaked me out in terms of that is scorpions because of a movie I saw when I was a little kid where the scorpion stung someone and then he died from it. So I know that's
um,
not always how it works. You can get stung and you're okay and it's fine.
but I've
But
never
I guess
seen
in
a
this movie
scorpion in real life. Like I don't
yeah,
think.
I don't. Well, Emily had that one. She was at the mummy thing or something, remember? And she had it in her hand, and she was like, she had it. It had a name, and I'm like, oh no, no,
I mean, I've seen them in the
that's
pet
not.
store. I've never seen one like in the wild. They're not native. I don't think they're native to.
I don't like it because they walk at you with the weapon like behind them,
They're
with their tail that thing,
very
and they're
sassy
like,
insect. Yeah.
yeah, and they're like, they crawl and they're like looking at you like, hey, 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 watch, you're gonna get close to me, and over my head, this thing is gonna come and
Like they're always
zap you.
flaunting the fact that they can sting you with that thing.
Yeah,
They don't
I don't
hide
like
it.
it. Yeah, and then I mean, this is an irrational fear, but like at some level, because I hopefully don't ever encounter them. But like piranha, just because like
I
remember
think
they had that sometimes they used to sell them at like the pet stores. Like
there's not a kid of our generation that isn't scared of piranhas. They had us
yeah,
terrified of those.
yeah, like and I don't even know if they like
I
how
don't think that I've read that they don't do what they told us they did
like they
back
don't
in.
like swarm you like in the
No,
movies. Like
no, like they run away from you, like they're scared of you. But
see, that would be
yeah,
what I'd like. Yeah, because when you think about it, like right, like okay, like yes, you go out in the sea and yes sharks and and there's all kind of like different things in the water that could get you but like most of the time fish you're like oh it's a fish Oh, look at this, a
Yeah,
goldfish. Oh, it's Nemo. It's a clown. All the fish are. I mean, catfish are a little freaky
they are
because
a
of
little
the like,
freaky.
they have the whiskers and they're like they don't know what they want to be. And they I can feel like they're always like angry at you and judging you. They're like,
There's this
oh,
weird. Oh my god,
you
our
know.
pond in the back has a giant fish of some sort. I don't know if it's a catfish, but I kind of think it is. But it couldn't be because don't catfish don't come to the top, right? They stay on the bottom.
I caught a catfish at camp though. They used to have them in the lake, and I caught one.
This might be.
But
It looks like a catfish because it'll come to the top of the water and it just does its mouth open. It goes, "Wow, wow." But it's like a 3 or 4 foot long fish in my pond in the back. Like that should
really,
not have
maybe
fish
it's
of that size.
maybe it's the one in the movie Big Fish, and like you gotta go. That's the day the fish got the wedding ring. Whatever
I don't know, but it
Albert Finney
freaks me
said.
out. We got a giant
This is probably
snapping
the
turtle back there. It's yeah.
this is probably the best episode for like the visuals because of the
Yes,
between the rat imitation we did
the
our
fish
catfish
imitation, like
impersonation. Arr,
"Arr,
what else? I know. Arr,
arr,
we did
arr."
the one-legged frog. I mean,
Yeah,
we got everything
we
in
got
this one.
everything here.
But yeah, no, but I mean, other than that, it's like I don't like it's so funny, but I can't judge anybody on their fear of things because like I know some people like one time I was like Julie and I were walking Obi and you met Obi, he's like the friendliest little
Yeah,
thing and he's not big. I mean, he's a schnauzer, so he's only so big. And and some people like they'll like kind of run the other way from him and I'm like, why'd they do that? And Julie's like, oh, they might be afraid of dogs. And I'm like, afraid of dogs, Obi? But there's some people that are just afraid
yeah,
of animals and there's no
absolutely.
like
Yeah,
Cone, right? He's afraid of octopus
yeah.
or octopi. Like, I mean, when is he going to really encounter one? It's like, I mean, I
But
don't
yeah,
see him diving into the ocean and like getting like, like tentacled, but
yeah. Well, we've all. I mean, and people say like, oh, you shouldn't be. Why are you afraid of that? Because it can't hurt you. That's not the point. It's an
yeah,
irrational fear for a reason. It's irrational. Like
yeah.
the
That's the
person,
term. It's right. It's
yeah,
right in the term.
the
It's
person that
irrational.
has
Stop
the.
trying to figure it out.
I mean, I know logically a frog cannot hurt me. Like I am
No.
completely 100% agree with you. The frog cannot hurt me, but I does
I mean,
not
not
change
to
the fact.
scare you, but I mean, you may have a one-legged frog out there that's got a really bad grudge against you and your family. But
Yeah, maybe.
honestly, it'll probably go after Olivia first
Probably.
because
Yeah, I'm gonna push her in front
it
of
knew
it.
you had nothing to do with it. But
No, I wasn't even there, frog. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, yeah, guys, check out Willard. It's on Shutter right now, along
yes.
with its sequel, Ben, which we may or may not cover. We'll
Yeah.
see.
I think I kind of want to. I think I want to move on in this Willard
Well, let's do
timeline. Like
this.
some.
Next episode, we'll cover Ben and the 2003 Willard remake. We'll just do
Oh, we'll
both
do
of
a
them.
double.
Do a double.
Double one. I like that. Yeah, we'll do like a preview slaycation, like a
Yeah.
spring fling or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. So yeah, so next week we'll talk about because I really want to talk about Ben. There's a lot to go.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
know.
lot
I'm
to
dying
cover
to
in
see
that one.
Ben
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I'm dying to see. And actually, there's a new. Speaking of that, it was funny today when we were talking. I was saying like, oh, the animals and different things. And there's a new killer whale movie coming out in April.
Ooh.
With Virginia Gardner in it. I'm trying to get us a screener for it. Um, let me. I forgot the name of it, but I'm gonna pull it up right now. Here it's called oh well, it's called Killer Whale. Uh, but it's got a really cool poster. It kind of reminds me of The Shallows. It's like they look like they're trapped in a rock, and this giant whale is like coming with blood in its mouth. There's like a dead person in front of it. It's like a really cool poster. Tim, if you
Oh,
look in
do you
our
remember that?
email,
You remember that movie Orca?
I love it. That poster made that whale look like it was 800 feet long. It was
Yeah,
great.
I've
I
got the
love that.
soundtrack to Orca. It's really good.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
another one I want to do actually too. I want to do Orca. And was there a second one? Or I might be thinking of the octopus one where there were two like tentacles and tentacles too. I don't,
that would be fun to do water horror theme month. Maybe for the summer. I know we're doing summer slaycation, but maybe
Yeah.
like right before the summer slaycation.
Well, yeah, and then you'll get doubly scared because Shelley Winters is. Oh, yeah, wait. Technically, I mean, humans if you want to consider a
Animals.
human an animal, there's your irrational fear
Shelley,
also. You have an
yeah,
irrational fear of Shelley Winters.
yeah. I don't think
But
that's irrational. I think she was a scary
actually, yeah,
woman.
if you see her in Pete's Dragon, it's not irrational at
It's
all.
not irrational at all.
And
But
plus, you'd be in trouble because if you saw her in Poseidon Adventure, she could hold her breath a really long time.
oh god, so she could
So
like
yeah,
she
so
could
she could like swim underwater in your
and just
lake by
wait.
your place and
Yeah,
like come out for you when she's ready. Yeah,
just wait.
well, I mean,
Oh my god.
unfortunately she passed away, so it's not actually gonna. It would be like it'd be even worse. It's like paranormal Shelley Winters coming out of
Undead Shelley
out
Winters.
of
Oh
the
my god.
pond.
Poor Shelley
Sim's got
Winters.
Ghost Shelley Winters after him and a one-legged frog. He's got some challenges up ahead.
I do.
That's
Anyway,
poor Tim.
so yeah, we'll see you guys back here next week. We will cover Ben and Willard 2003. Because I mean, my God, between those two movies, what an episode!
Yeah.
Because we got
Oh,
Crispin
this I'm
Glover.
looking forward to it now. I'm definitely gonna I'm gonna watch
It's
these as soon as I
I
can.
started watching it, Brian. This is peak Crispin Glover, like peak,
Oh, I
absolute
love
peak.
it.
It's going to be so great. And
Does he go
Ben,
like?
yeah. Yes.
Does he do that?
He's gonna do. He does stuff like that. Yes,
Okay,
already.
good.
And I'm only 15 minutes into the movie, and he's already like giving me all the Crispin Glover I've ever wanted and more. So
Nice.
it's gonna be fantastic. So yeah, you guys take care. Stay away from the rats, and we will
Yes.
see you back here next week.
Yes. Oh, and one final thing before I go, I wanted to say, if you want to listen to a great episode, listen to KK Sam's
Yes.
Sammy Award episode, where you'll hear a lot of like not only are we make our little presentation in there, but some of our favorite people are in there, like Jim
Yes.
Kurtz, Cody, like some of our like
Mackenzie.
classic, yeah, Mackenzie, who designed our awesome new logo, which is soon, I promise, will be in the stores soon, our Civil Gore shop soon. We're just tweaking some final things to make it fit on the shop properly. It wasn't looking right in the shop. The logo is perfection. It's just something with the shop on the black shirt. So Julie's gonna do something to make that happen. So I mean, and that was like one of my favorite episodes they ever did because and especially because they send the clips back of it. I'd love to
Yeah.
do an award show, but I think I just named all our listeners, so it'd be really kind of
Yeah.
a hard vote
Yeah. And
to
plus,
do.
like the
But
editing, just I mean, God bless Eric for
oh my God,
editing all that
well,
stuff. Because
that's his like that's
yeah,
his like his skill.
he
He's
put
just
all the sound effects
unbelievable.
in and made it sound like a real award show. That was great.
You notice we got the groans. We were the only ones with the
We
groans with
got
my
we
bad
got the
jokes.
groans.
Yeah,
That was good. Yeah, yeah.
but
Anyway, yeah, go
but
check out that out.
I will say I do want to do. I mentioned this before ago. And Cody had brought it up. She said we do have, I don't think we're gonna hit it this year based off our schedule, but probably it'll be early next year. Will be our 400th episode. I can't speak
Mhm.
episode, but the thing is that because we probably have well more than technically
We
400
do.
at this point. If you
Yeah,
put the little
we're
mini-sodes
we're
and
probably
the
close to 500
dismemberments.
actually.
Yeah, but based on our regular episodes, we'll hit our 400th. I wanted to she asked, "What are you guys going to do for special?" And I was thinking about it, and we always toyed with that idea of doing a Civil Gore Hall of Fame kind of a thing, where we kind of induct things into a Hall of Fame that I don't know when we'll go visit because it's not going to really exist
Yeah,
except in our
a
minds.
virtual Hall
But
of Fame.
yeah, I mean, but I think I'd love to do something like that, like something along those lines. I think we need to do something special for our 400th, so we'll figure something out.
Or I could go back and look at how many episodes we actually have total and see what our virtual 500th would be. It's probably
Oh my
coming
God,
up
we might
pretty
even
quick.
be past that
We
for
might
all
even
we
be
know.
past it. I don't know. I'll have to
With
go
the
look.
dismemberments, which we never numbered. I mean, there was like 5 years of dismemberments in
Yeah.
there, I think, or
I'd be
6 years.
curious to see. Now, I would not count. There was a handful of times we re-released an episode, but that was
Right, no,
very
that
few
doesn't
and far
count.
between. But I am out of
Yes.
curiosity, morbid curiosity. I'm going to go see the actual number of episodes we have released, which includes mini-sodes, bonus episodes, standalone interviews, and dismemberments. And I'm going to
Yeah,
let you
because there
know.
was even one you did where I could go and you did like a little 5-minute reading of something. That was a
Yeah,
mini-sode. We didn't
yeah.
name that, but that could, yeah. So.
I'm just curious now, morbid curiosity. But
I
anyway,
know, yeah, no, I would not, honestly, it would not shock, because let's just say we did modestly 5 years of dismemberments. That's 60 right there.
yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, that's 60
And
episodes
some
just in 5 years of
and sometimes
dismemberments.
we split the dismemberment into two episodes.
Right. So, and that, yeah, so you might get, yeah, and because I don't remember off the top what season we decided to make
Oh well,
the
Brian,
dismemberment standalone.
I got an easy way to tell you right now.
Oh, okay.
If you go by Libsyn, who's our hosting provider, and I can see every show we've ever published. Now, granted, there are a handful, probably less than 5, where we re-release an episode, but we're at 498 right now.
Oh my God.
So if you took out the handful of times we re-release an episode, I bet you are around 495, 496.
I only remember like 2 or 3, honestly, times where we
Yeah,
re-released an
it was
episode.
very rare. So yeah, so
So,
we are close to 500 right now.
wow, that's
Yeah,
nuts.
we could technically celebrate our 500th in like a month.
Yeah, I mean,
But
yeah,
anyway,
we should do that too, just to like, but it's not
yeah,
really our 500th. It's our 500th
it's our virtual 500th,
thing that you got
right?
stuck with listening to, but
Yeah.
it's not our 500th episode.
I don't know. But anyway,
Alrighty.
yeah. Thank you guys
Sorry.
for listening for this
Yes.
number of episodes, and we'll see you back here next week.
Yes. Watch out for rats and one-legged frogs.
And Shelley Winters.
Yes.